Hi, and welcome back to Bounce Forward with me, Tiff. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I'm recording this podcast, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to elders, past and present. Today, we're hitting up the second part of the great question that was asked last episode. Steph, it was such a huge time in my life to have such, and I still feel that pressure, I guess, when people are looking at my body. Like whenever I turn up to a shoot or I'm filming or even just walking in the street, people do comment, oh, you're smaller in person. And I feel like nobody can sit at a low fat percentage of like 7 to 10%, which you need to show abs, right? I have abs sometimes because I might exercise a bit more and tighten up my nutrition and then have some abs. But then most of the time in real life, like right now here sitting talking to you, I don't have abs because I eat a healthy diet and I exercise sensibly, but I also run a business and I have kids and we have taekwondo after schools and we have basketball on weekends and we have birthday parties and busy lives. And, you know, my focus isn't to exercise all day and live on white fish and salad, you know? So I think we have to really, this is what this podcast is about. It's about educating people. If you want to show your abs, you need to have a really low fat percentage in your body. And that takes a calorie deficit and that takes a lot of deprivation and that takes a lot of intense training. And, you know, it's really good to sort of debunk these myths that you can just have abs by doing sit-ups. You know, you can't. It's all about your nutrition and your fat percentage. So I find that pressure still follows me around, but I'm much better at dealing with it now. I'm much better with just thinking I'm going to educate people around these myths that you can have a six-pack all year round. You really can't, especially women with their hormones and their cycles. I'm really a lot more relaxed about my body. Like there would have been a time where I wouldn't do a shoot unless I had an 8-pack. But now I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll do a shoot. I don't have abs, but that's even better because like I'm relating to even more women out there and, you know, putting out a healthy message that, yeah, you're exercising and it's not about having a six-pack. You're exercising because it's for mental health and feeling good and feeling wonderful. And I think that's so much more important. So I feel like personally I've come a long way with dealing with that pressure. And I don't think it'll ever go away for me, having that pressure and people commenting on my body. And if I get pregnant again or if I have more children or whatever, it'll come again. But I'm getting better at dealing with it, Steph. Yeah. So just to touch on having abs, you've got to understand when you see celebrities out there doing a movie or on the cover of a magazine, they are doing things specifically to get abs and to hold those abs for maybe just that day. Because as soon as they have water, as soon as they eat something, they're going to bloat. They're going to not have abs. You can have an athletic looking stomach all year round. Yes, you can. But to have that shredded six-pack look, you have to go to extremes. And that's not what I'm about. And, you know, I was on the cover of Women's Health in 2019, I think. And for that shoot, to be on the cover, I wanted a six-pack. And so I was exercising more. I was eating very clean, you know, no sauces on my veggies. Like I love a bit of sauce on my, you know, meat, veg, you know, like no sauces. I had pulled the salt out of my diet to try and get the water retention out of my body a bit more. And then leading up to those shoots, and this is back in the day, I would water load. So I would drink like 4 liters of water. And then the next day drink 3 liters, then the next day 2, then the next day 1, then 500 mils. And then I go to sips of water on the day of the shoot. And what happens is you water load your body and your body goes, oh, I'm used to 4 liters of water. And then within a couple of days, you strip it right back to just sips of water and your body freaks out and it releases any excess fluid retention. And it's a way of just stripping the excess fluid out of your tummy because we hold most of our fluid around our tummies and it then reveals the abs underneath. And I swear to God, anyone who has a really toned six-pack on the cover of a magazine or in a movie, They are water loading and playing with diuretics and playing with their water levels to get that look. Way back in the day, in my 20s and that, like if I had photo shoots, I would book it at certain times around my cycle as well to make sure there was no bloating. I would want to be in the follicular phase. I would want to make sure that I was not bloating, but definitely not having my period, definitely not ovulating, definitely not in the luteal phase. So like I was full on about this stuff. And on the day of the shoot, I would eat lollies and sugar, jelly beans. I'd even once when I was bodybuilding, I had a shot of alcohol because what it does is the sugars blow up your veins and make you look more veiny and muscular and make your muscles look a little bit more plump because you haven't had sugar for so long. You suddenly have sugar. Your body goes, whoa, and it just rushes through your veins and you get all these beautiful big blue veins through your abdominals. And I mean, this stuff is not normal. This is extreme. And I'm a fit person. So if you were to take a photo of me now, I kind of have upper abs, no lower abs, little bit of obliques, but like just a normal looking tummy, bit of a bump, not really flat because I'm not changing the water levels of my body. I'm not sweating it out in a sauna. Every woman has a little bit of a bump, a soft tummy because we have a uterus. And, you know, that's okay. That's like my body day in, day out. But I think I have a pretty lean stomach all the time. But even I have to go to extremes to get a six-pack. And I'm a pretty fit person that has been exercising since I was a little girl, right? So imagine what people have to go through. Like, and I have worked with some big celebrities. I've trained some massive celebrities in my time. And some of these celebrities are held up as having the best physiques in the world, the best physiques. And even these guys and these girls have to go to these extremes to have a six-pack. Absolutely. And I know that because I know their trainers. I was one of their trainers. I've been around them. And so it's not something that an average person can have. You got to strive for it. And then even when you do drop your water and you sauna and you do all these things and you up your exercise and you're eating a specific way and you pull out the salt of your diet and you've got your six-pack for the day, as soon as you start drinking water, as soon as you have some more carbohydrates, your six-pack's going to go because that's just what happens. You're going to conceal the six-pack by bloating. And women are different to men. Men can have six-packs a lot easier than women. They don't store as much fat stores around their stomachs. But for us women, we do. And it is incredibly hard to have a six-pack. And every trainer out there will tell you it is an absolute myth that you can have a ripped, shredded, hard six-pack stomach all year round. And if you are seeing that on Instagram and you're following some influencers where you're thinking, wow, she's got a six-pack all year round and I just love her and I just think anything she says I'm going to do because she has a six-pack all year round, then they are taking performance-enhancing drugs. And that is something that is rife in the industry, that is rife out there now. You can get them so easily. And they are taking performance-enhancing drugs that make their tummies hard because it is not something that you can achieve. It is not something you can achieve all year round. Thanks so much for listening to Bounce Forward. I love having your company, so please DM me on Instagram at @tiffhall_XO and let me know what questions you'd love me to cover. Don't forget to rate and review me on your podcast app. Speak soon. Happy days.